Hi again, Mark here from Talking Bass. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the bass playing of Tina Weymouth, and specifically the iconic bass line from Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. So, this is very much Talking Bass does Talking Heads. Now, this is a bass line that often gets recommended to beginners because it's simple, but there's a catch. If you actually try to play it the way that Tina plays it, it's a little more interesting than it first appears. And that's because Tina uses a very distinctive right-hand technique. She uses the thumb for lower notes and fingers for higher notes within the same line. It's a hybrid approach that sits somewhere between traditional fingerstyle and a kind of free stroke concept. So it's pretty weird, but let's try it out. Now, before we start, if you want to practice this line properly, I've put the tab over there at the Talking Bass website so you can play along and work on locking that groove in. Just follow the link in the description below. So first of all, let's just look at the notes on that opening riff. So, on paper, this is a very simple line, and using traditional finger picking, again, it is very simple. We just have. So we're basically just playing that open A string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then open E string to G at the 3rd fret. So, using traditional finger picking, you can just use one finger, just that first finger. Dead simple. The fretting hand is not as simple because you have to pay special attention to the note duration. So if you listen to those A's there, we're choking off on pretty much the 2nd eighth note of each one. So we've got... So instead of... We're not playing full note duration. We're cutting it off, choking, which you can do with this hand. You just bring down those fingers lightly. And also you can use the finger that you're picking with, just place it back on the string. So even when we're not using that hand, and then the combination of the two, makes for really good choking. So now let's get to Tina's unique way of playing these bass lines. So for that bass line, she would play the A's there with the first finger. But then for the E string, she uses the thumb. So. Okay, so like I said, it's kind of a hybrid technique. So you can anchor the thumb there, on that E string for the first, set of A's. But then the thumb is there ready for the E and the G. And when you do that, you can also place the finger on the A string, just to, for a little bit more muting. So. Now, loads of players do play with the thumb, and the regular way of playing this line with the thumb would be like this. So you would use the thumb for those open A's as well, but Tina plays the open A's with the finger. It's just a different way of playing. Now, I suspect that Tina just adapted this playing style naturally. It's not like she's got some specific tonal or dynamic goals in mind. So the notes just sound pretty regular. But one thing that does happen when you switch between the strings like that is the need for cutting notes off. There's no ringing of the thumbed notes over the fingered note. That in itself gives her a certain feel in the groove. That cutting of the note is always going to have a slight characteristic bounce. So you always, when you're playing like this, using that thumb and the first finger, you have to pay special attention to the choking. And it's that gives it that slight idiosyncratic kind of feel. Okay, now let's ramp up the difficulty a little with the chorus riff.
Psycho Killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Fa 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 fa. Better run, 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 run away. Oh.
So again, using regular finger picking, this line is easy, and I've got to say that if I was to transcribe this, for playing in a band, I wouldn't play it how Tina's playing it in the fretting hand either. So if I was to play this, if I just listened through it, I'd play it like this. So the first part of the line on the F, it has that Motown feel. You know, you'll know that kind of sound. You know, it's that kind of feel with that sixth in there. And, you know, it just falls under the fingers for me. Like that, you know. First finger for that F at the 3rd fret of the D string, and then just using either the 4th or 3rd finger for the D at the 5th fret of the A string, and then the first finger for the 3rd fret of the A string. That's how I would play, and then I would move that up a whole step because it's just so obvious to do. And then for the A, I would use the 5th and 3rd frets on the E string because, you know, moving from the A down to the G, it just works like that. If you're using open strings, it's harder to mute and, well, choke and then move to the G. But obviously that's not how Tina plays it. So when Tina plays it, she uses a bunch of open strings, almost double bass style. So in terms of the fretting hand, you know, the frets and all of that stuff, she's playing this. Okay, so we've got F and the D on the D string, 3rd fret and open string, and then the C at the 3rd fret of the A string. And then up to the open G string, and then 2nd fret D string, open D string. You know, which, you know, when you're learning something like this, you know, when you're looking for patterns that repeat, that makes it all the more hard to memorize. Because, like I said, if I was to learn this, I'd just take that pattern and shift it up. But here, you got 2 totally different patterns. And you got to do all that choking because there's a lot of open strings in there. And then, instead of playing with the 5th fret of the E string for the A, she plays the open A string and then moves down to the G at the 3rd fret of the E string. So when you play the G, you've got to choke off the open A string, which you can do with the underside of that hand. Then it's just a repeat. And then to the C there. And that's just pretty normal. C and B, 3rd and 2nd frets on the A string. And then back. So yeah, it's a little bit different in the fretting hand, all those open strings, but then you got to factor in the old thumb and first finger thing. So when she's playing this first part, she's actually using the first finger for the F and the open D string, so that's 2 notes on the D string. And then she plays with the thumb on the A string. Okay? Which just makes my brain hurt. You know, it just feels very odd and different. Just because I've never played like that before. So. And remember, you got to choke off that open D string when you move down to the C. Then we move up to the G, coming down through the E and the D, and again, first finger for the open G string, and then thumb for the 2 notes on the D string. Which means you got to do a lot with this hand to, like I say, for the choking. So when I'm playing that, I actually find it easier if I actually use the thumb or the palm there to mute the lower 2 strings and actually just play, you know, with the first finger there and then just hold the hand in position while I just play with the thumb like that. So, which is more like I would, you know, if I was playing chords, that kind of thing. So I'm using that kind of free stroke kind of method. But, you know, I don't know how she plays it. Tina's got, like, she might be bringing the thumb right out. Yeah, it's just, If you try it, you'll see what I mean. It's just really hard to cut down on the residual noise, but she can. She's great at it. So whatever it is, it works for Tina. And then, of course, we come down to that A. Again, you've got to really think about the cutting off of that A. We've got first finger taking the A string and then that G on the E string. That's with the thumb. Again, it's not obvious. It's all about the choking and getting rid of that residual noise. The actual playing with that hand is very simple. None of this is hard in terms of the actual mechanics of getting the notes. It's more about cutting down on the noise. Now, when it comes to the C, I think she just plays with traditional finger picking. I don't think it's a case of using the thumb or finger and then thumb. It's all on one string. It's just the one finger. So that's Tina Weymouth's unique picking style. Now, if you enjoy learning bass by working through riffs like this, you might also want to check out the Groove Trainer course over at Talking Bass. That course takes you through a progressive set of bass grooves from beginner to advanced level, developing all areas of your technique, rhythm, and theory knowledge. So you're not just learning isolated exercises, you're developing your playing through real musical bass lines. Use the coupon code TINAGROOVE for a 30% discount and just follow the link below in the description for details. Alright, give Psycho Killer a try and see if you can get that hypnotic groove happening. Then, if you want to try another bass line with some not so regular technique, try this video where I work through Tony Levin's awesome bass line from the song Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. Have fun, and I'll see you next week.